Avila is translating for me because like many Latinos and Hispanics that were born here generation after generation, long time ago, our bisabuelos did not speak Spanish to our mamas and papas because they didn't want to speak in Spanish. So my father and I are two generations that couldn't speak Spanish, but my niños speak Spanish. And I was just talking to Senor Aguilar's wonderful father and mother, Kathy and Ed. Where are you? Yay. And Brett, Senor Brett picked up Spanish all on his own, as did my children. So this is a great thing what you're seeing happening and what Senor Avila has done for this community. So a big round of applause to you.
Es muy interesante que ella no habla español y yo me parezco más gringo que ella. Yo hablo español y dice que sus abuelos no enseñaron a los padres de ella el español porque ellos querían que los padres estuvieran más acostumbrados a la cultura americana y no querían que los padres tenían acentos hispanos y todo eso. Y es muy parecido a la situación en mi familia.
So I am actually going to ask those of you in the back to move forward a little, because later on during this presentation, we are going to be having some of you come up and dance with us. And so if you're closer to us, then we can see you to pick you out to dance. Like all of you back there, I can see you.
Estos son mis estudiantes. Those are my students. So come on, chicas.
I see parents back there too. You should come up here. It'll be better. You'll like it.
Dicen que en la presentación van a escoger unas personas de ustedes para participar en los bailes con ellos.
So before we begin today, I want to tell you that even though I am born and raised in Colorado, that my family was there for many generations, I had the pleasure and honor of coming to school on scholarship to a place called Peru, Nebraska in your southeast corner, and then going on to law school at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. I have a great affinity and love for Nebraska.
Sí. Ella dice que ella estudió en Peru State College, en la universidad en Nebraska, está cerca de Wayne, Nebraska, ¿no? Wayne?
Peru and Lincoln.
Perú, y luego en Lincoln, Nebraska, y estudió para ser una abogada. Y es muy feliz estar con nosotros aquí en Nebraska otra vez.
So one of the things that I've always wanted to do is come back to Nebraska and be able to bring my culture back. And Senor Avila and Sidney High School have allowed us to do that. So today what we are going to do is we are going to introduce to you our Azteca Mexica dance group called Huitzilopochle. When they come out, they are going to be doing something called saluting the four directions. We are going to call in our ancestors and we welcome you to do that with us.
Él dice que fue un sueño para ella para regresar o devolver a Nebraska con su cultura y es un placer estar aquí con nosotros y vamos a empezar con un evento de invitar los elementos y ella les invite a ustedes a participar con nosotros.
So what will happen is when they come out, they are going to be going to the east. You're going to raise your left hand, which is your heart hand, and you follow your heart hand from, where is the east? East. There we go. You're going to go east. You're going to follow.
Vamos a empezar con la mano izquierda, porque significa la mano del corazón. Vamos a empezar al oeste y vamos a continuar east and then.
So this is the direction of the guerreros and new beginnings, in a sense. And then we're going to turn to the west. This is the direction of the mujeres.
Y luego al oeste.
And then from there we're going to be turning to the north. And the north is the años pasados, the bisabuelos, our ancient ones.
Y al norte significa los antiguos y los abuelos.
Then we're going to turn to the south. This is the direction of the children.
Y el sur significa los niños.
Then we're going to turn a full circle around like this
Y vamos a dar una vuelta entera
into the great mystery. The heavens, the earth, and everything that is seen and unseen in between.
hasta el gran misterioso que no podemos ver y que podemos ver, desde el cielo hasta la tierra.
There are many indigenous people that have lived on this land, and you have many tribes here in Nebraska on the Great Plains that crossed over into what we now think is the border of Colorado. So this is the way that all indigenous people, and even those of you who have European blood, all indigenous people honored the earth and their ancestors in some manner. And as we do this today, I want you to think about your own cultural roots and the people that you came from, as we call in our ancestors to give us permission to present the prayers that we will be presenting to you today.
Tenemos una historia muy rica aquí con las personas indígenas y es importante reconocer las personas en nuestras vidas desde cualquier historia, Europa, España, México, las Américas, etc. Y vamos a saludar al cielo y la tierra y es una parte de la historia de cualquier grupo indígena.
So with that, I would like to introduce to you Grupo Huitzleopochtli. in the way that you treat your elders, in the way that you act with each other. So Guerrero is about fighting the good fight for justice, for truth, for honesty, for compassion and kindness. Guerrero.
see approaching. Ok, gracias. Vamos a ver más de ellos en unos 40 minutos. Sí, y ese también. Salsa. Antes de empezar este baile, René dijo que la canción significa guerrera, pero no guerra como las luchas y cosas así. Significaba algo más como la belleza de la vida y la lucha para el amor, la vida, cosas así. Okay, so Tyler, may we have the curtain open? And stage lights down, and then the screen as well, please. So, I was looking for a quote tonight. There's an author whose name is Paulo Coelho. I don't know if any of you are familiar with him. He wrote a book called The Alchemist, which is very popular. And the quote says, "When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you achieve it." And I feel like that is something that has truly happened with this event this evening. As I came to know one of the dancers, his name is Danny. He worked at Sisters United for Education in Colorado when I worked at the health department. And I got to know him through a job that I had in Denver before coming to Nebraska. And last year, I thought, well, I want to take my kids to Casa Bonita. And I called him and I said, "Hey, Danny, do you remember me from the health department?" He said, yeah, absolutely. He used to make sure I was doing my job. And so anyhow, so long story short, he put me in contact with Dr. Renee Fajardo, and she put me in contact with the Journey Through Our Heritage program. And I ended up delaying the field trip that we were supposed to take last spring. And we took it this last fall. I took my Spanish 1 students over and Mr. Pope's Spanish students. And we got to enjoy the History Colorado Museum free of charge, the El Movimiento exhibit. And we got to go to Casa Bonita, which the kids really loved. The comida is not necessarily the best, but it's a wonderful experience. And I heard some people kind of in the audience, yeah. So anyhow, I feel like, you know, everything that has come to pass. Even today, I found out that we received a grant from the Cheyenne County Chamber of Commerce to cover all of the expenses for the event that were donated. So I'd like to give them a huge round of applause. I would like to thank the Hampton Inn and Suites for donating 5 rooms times 2 nights, which is a pretty costly donation, so we appreciate that. I'd like to thank Metropolitan State University and the Journey Through Our Heritage program for their contribution to making this event happen and helping with the program fees for the dancers to come down here, so let's give them a round of applause. So, antes de empezar esta noche, yo pensé que yo quería decir algo, una frase de un autor que me gustaba. Y hay un autor, se llama Paulo Coelho, y el dicho dice algo como, cuando te quieres algo en la vida, el universo te ayuda a conseguir esta meta. Y en esta experiencia yo pienso que es cierto para mí, porque yo conocí a uno de los bailarines en Colorado hace como 4 o 5 años, Danny. Y yo trabajé por el Departamento de Salud Pública y él trabajaba con un programa de la comunidad. Y yo lo llamé a él para preguntarle, yo quiero llevar como 90 estudiantes de Sidney, Nebraska a Colorado, ¿me puede ayudar con buscar un evento para el 5 de mayo? Y él me puso en contacto con Dr. René Fajardo, con el Departamento de los Estudios Chicanos. Y por eso estamos aquí. Y quiero decirle gracias a ellos, quiero decir gracias a Cheyenne County Chamber of Commerce por unos fondos para ayudarnos con con todos los expensos de ese evento y también the Hampton Inn Suites para las habitaciones para los bailarines. Y también, I would also like to say thank you very much to Sidney Public Schools and to our administrator, Chris Arndt, as well as the superintendent's office for their support in the approach to them and saying, hey, I'd like to take your students to Denver to try this out. And they were very supportive. So I would like to give Sidney Public Schools, particularly the high school, a round of applause. Quería decirle gracias a Sidney Public Schools, a la escuela, la preparatoria especialmente, porque ellos nos daron el permiso para ir a Colorado para esta competición y ganar también. And I failed to mention that we did win, if you didn't know. We won the video competition as well as the mural competition. So not only did we get permission to go, but we won, which is very exciting. I would like to thank Tyler, who's working our sound and lights back there tonight. I would also like to thank Aaliyah McKnight for making the stand that our mural is on. I would like to also thank Dr. Renee Fajardo, Atik Patsin, Raul Chavez, Shelly, who came from Metro State University today, and Danny. They came to my psychology class, my human development class, and 2 of my Spanish classes today, and gave talks and presentations to my students, and I think had a really impactful moment, as well as the entire group for coming to our school today. So let's give them a round of applause. También quería decir gracias a unas personas de este grupo porque ellos vinieron a participar en mis clases de psicología, desarrollo de los humanos y también español 1 para participar en mis clases y enseñar a mis estudiantes unas cosas acerca de las tradiciones de la Azteca. Okay, well that was quite a few thank yous to get introduced. So Tyler, if you wouldn't mind actually now taking me to my first picture. Second tab. Okay, so the real reason that we are here tonight is actually because of my grandmother. My grandmother's name is Brett Avila. Some of you actually know her. You've known her for a long time. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to learn more about my culture and my family because I valued her and I thought she was important. And desde niño yo quería aprender más de mi cultura, la historia de mi familia por mi abuela, y ella se llama Brett Avila, y muchas personas aquí de la comunidad conocen a mi abuela, y ella es mi inspiración por estar aquí como maestro de español. She's my inspiration really for being a Spanish teacher, which really is what brought me to teaching in Sidney High School many years ago, well 3 years ago. And so I just want to recognize her and her experience. She told me a story of one time she and my grandfather, and they met here at the Army Depot. My grandfather later served in the war, and they'd gone out to eat one time at a local restaurant, which I shall not mention its name because it's still in business. And they were asked to leave. They were refused service and asked to leave this restaurant. And this was a number of years ago. My grandmother also told me a story once when she was in Texas, when she was asked to move to the back of a bus. And most recently, she told me a story of she had gone to a runza. It was the opening of a new runza in Scottsbluff, I want to say maybe 5 years ago. And she was reciting the words to the national anthem, and there were a couple of women behind her that had commented that they couldn't believe that she knew the words to the national anthem. Oh my goodness. Little did they know that she was U.S. born, that her family was U.S. born, her husband had served in the armed services, and it really, it didn't make her angry, it just really hurt her feelings. En la experiencia de mi abuela y mis abuelos actualmente tuvieron una experiencia aquí en Sidney. Ellos entraron a un restaurante aquí, no voy a decir el nombre de este restaurante, pero después de entrar, las personas, los empleados, preguntaron a mis abuelos a salir, que salgan, porque no querían personas así comiendo en su restaurante. Y también había una vez que mi abuela estaba en un autobús en Texas y el conductor pidió que mi abuela mueva detrás del autobús por el color de su piel. Y también había una vez más recientemente en Scottsbluff, Nebraska, y y estaban diciendo las palabras al National Anthem, y mi abuela conoce las palabras al National Anthem, y había dos personas, dos muchachas, mujeres, que no podían creer que ella entendía y podía hablar las palabras a esta National Anthem. Y mi abuelo sirvió en las Fuerzas Armadas. So ella es mi inspiración estar aquí, y I have to say thank you so much to this community, because when I returned to the Panhandle, I didn't think it would be for a decent amount of time, certainly not as long as I've been here. And I'm so happy because these students make it well worth my time, as do all of you for having been such amazing parents. So I would like to say thank you to you. I would like to recognize my grandmother and my grandfather and their struggles and what they've gone through, because that has ignited a fire in me, and I have shared that passion and that fire, hopefully with my students, to be the change that they wish to see in the world. So let's give a round of applause to my grandmother and all of you. Okay, so enough of me talking. I would like to invite my students to please stand and join me on stage. So, un overview, vamos a presentar las poemas, and we have not heard the results of the poems. I believe we will find out the official results of the poetry competition when we go in May, which will be on May 6th, and we will also then present our mural, which we have here. We'll have a big picture of it up here, and then we'll present our video, and then we have one kind of last moment presentation from Mia Hernandez, brought to my attention a really awesome speech that she had put together that she's modified for you this evening as well. So I would like to have the following individuals. They're going to stand and they will state their name and what grade they're in. And for those of you who are upperclassmen, if you'd like to say if you have desires or dreams of going on beyond high school, kind of maybe what your plans are for college. So we'll begin with Jocelyn Parra.
Well, my name is Jocelyn. I'm in 9th grade. Is that it?
Sure. Unless you know what you want to do when you grow up.
I'm not sure.
Okay, and it's right up on the edge.
Entonces, mi nombre es Jocelyn,
grade?
My name is Abby Hudspeth, and I'm in 9th grade.
My name is Autumn Holly, and I'm in 11th grade, and I plan on either being an art teacher or a botanist.
A round of applause, please. So today when we had Ati Patin in my psychology class, my human development class, and one thing he had said to them is he said, don't set your sights on a 2 or 4 year college. Set your sights on a 6 or 8 year college. You want to become a doctor. You want to become a therapist. Because a lot of times as people of color, we don't see doctors. We don't see people in professional roles beyond maybe beyond a 2 or 4 year degree. And so to set your dreams and your aspiration as, I want to be a doctor. I don't know what, maybe philosophy, maybe biology, maybe I'll cut people open, be a medical doctor, who knows? But I'm going to set my dreams high. And so I told them today, I said that makes sense. Don't just settle with, I'm going to get a bachelor's degree. Set your sights high and go for that. And I think that Metro State offers some really great programming to help pay for and offer financial aid for those kinds of opportunities, because it's really important that we stick with it and that we become a face that young people can see in those kinds of positions and aspire to be. So yo quería decir que antes, cuando Patin estaba en mis clases de español y psicología y desarrollo de los humanos, él estaba diciendo que es importante poner una meta de continuar la educación hasta 6 años o 8 años para hacer maestría o hacer doctorado, porque no queremos parar a los 2 años o a los 4 años, queremos conseguir más. Es muy importante que ellos un día sean los líderes de nuestra cultura y de nuestra sociedad. Y por eso quiero reconocer a estos estudiantes increíbles por su trabajo. Y for this, I would like to also honor them for their hard work. So one more round of applause, please. Okay, just a really quick introduction to this is, I remember when we were meeting with the students, I asked a couple of them, I said, what's really cool to me is I said, you hang out with each other, and it doesn't matter what color skin you have. It's like you're colorblind. And the one student said to me, she said, Avila, it's not because we're colorblind. We see the color, we just don't care. And I think that's what makes this group so really wonderful, is we have students of all shades of skin tone up here, and no importa el color de piel, a ellos. And that's really what I've seen from a lot of people here in the community, and what we aspire for the future. And so without further ado, I would like to invite Mia Hernandez to please come up, and she will be introducing your poets.
Okay, it's on. Our first poet is Alfredo Belanger Jr., and his poem is titled Superiority Leads to Murder. In his poem, Jr. explores the impact the Ku Klux Klan had historically and still has presently in today's culture. So please welcome Jr.
Superiority leads to murder. The physical damage that has been done is horrendous. Why are there still promotions for discrimination? Fear. You scared of the skin colors you see, where they came from, the education they hold, questions that are still being asked. Will there ever be an answer, or will you still hide behind a mask? Resorting to violence is not right, but what is being right to you guys? No one knows. Start to right could be by doing right and stop the nonsense.
Our second poet is Melissa Rodriguez Flores. Her poem is titled Preguntas sin respuestas, or Questions Without Answers. Melissa confronts the complex and controversial topic of undocumented citizenship. y las personas que has llamado ilegales. Tú no sabes su realidad. Miedo. Miedo a quedar deportado y tener que abandonar a su familia. Miedo. Miedo a ser rechazado por las personas. Miedo. Miedo a ser ti mismo. Miedo. Miedo a ser llamado por nombres. Miedo. Miedo a hablar inglés sin que los demás se rían de ti. Miedo. Miedo a seguir siendo la misma persona. Miedo. Miedo a que algún día tus sueños se terminen sin ninguna razón. Well, this poem talks about the struggles that Mexican people go through when they come to the United States. And, like, that's about it. Thanks. Okay, our final poem is written by Angelica Woolley. It is called Mi Abuelo's Experience. Angelica details the experience of her grandparents' life in Colorado, of their welcoming community, and the benefits of coming together. Mi abuelo's experience starts many years ago. Many years ago in Old Mexico. Mi abuelos came to the U.S. because of hard times to search for a better life. Mi abuelos found work easy because they were humble. Mi abuelos, against all odds, made it through the struggles. Without mi abuelos' friends, they wouldn't have had a home to rest. Without mi abuelos' friends, they wouldn't have known where they would have ended up. Without mi abuelos' friends, they wouldn't have